series of the day as we're closing out the group stage and Group B in particular. Both Karmine Corp and Multiculti are guaranteed to be in the playoffs starting, starting tomorrow, Saturday. And it's just a matter of seeding, and seeding is quite important, whether you're going to be at the top with a second life or you're going to be starting at the bottom. When where Rumble Bumblers are already waiting and seeing what's going to happen. They're not going to be playing, though, either of these teams versus Rumble Bumblers. It's going to be up to one of the teams from the upper finals. We're going to break it down just a little bit later today. But Karmine Corp and FC Multiculti take the field in the last best of 5 of the day. And 30 seconds so far has had one moment and nothing else.
Craftman was promising you answers from us. I have answers. The winner of this goes on to face Sir, which, for my money, looking at all of the teams now over the first 2 days of the Dacia Spring Electric Tournament, they look like the best team, which is quite interesting considering that they weren't even initially teed up to be a part of this tournament. They got brought in almost as a reserve option because sadly Pashi 90's team had to head on its way out, but Nolly is heading out to the break in play with an excellent boomer from downtown. Lovely little pass. Again, Itachi the supplier. And I think that's what Karmine Corp has been threatening to do for this opening couple of minutes. It's 1-0 to the core.
You saw that Itachi's recovery and read off that play was just spectacular. It's an awkward place to be, and it's an awkward place to play off. You never practice these kind of shots, and yet in just the nick of time, he figures out what to do with it. Now he even goes for a solo play of his own, but it was mostly for show what he was doing, as really nowhere around there he could find the angle. Then I say that, and just a moment ago he has found a beautiful angle to set up his teammates. There's a demo on the ground. It's off screen, but Astral is out, and depending on where he's going to spawn, he spawns far and doesn't get the boost, and as a result, he has 0 in tank right now as he's moving on forward. But slowly, surely, his team is getting a boost pads, full tanks as well. And here's a question for you, Relic. I wonder if Dacia is sponsoring this tournament because Carson Rocket League are electric? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that electric powers the way forward, and that the Dacia Spring Electric is an incredibly affordable option if you're looking to go the way of the electric. Excellent charging times, only 18,000 euros, brand new at your local dealership. So I would definitely check out the Dacia Spring Electric, the wonderful car after which this tournament has been named. And isn't it just a wonderful coincidence as well that it just so happens to be in spring? And as you say, the cars are electric. Almost electricity flying out the veins of Justice there, trying to get FC Multiculti back on level terms. And really going forward, I think the one player that we're going to be keeping an eye on is Astral, because whereas Itachi really started to work well together with Noli, brilliant partnership it seems forming there. I think there's and to be fair, there has always been a lot of questions surrounding Astral. We talk about the likes of Seiku, we talk about the likes of Archie. Well, it feels like Astral wants to, and has in the past, filled that role. He is someone who likes to be the hero of the team, but if things aren't going his way, he can often end up as baggage, and that bag is heading down the conveyor belt into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's Gech once again, and that's really unfortunate. Just a wayward touch from Noli, and Multiculti do it. You get that equalizer.
You roll back everything about 15 seconds ago, and it was a lot of shots that Karmine Corp couldn't immediately clear out. At some point, players going backwards, weak clears, and in the end, just a lack of a solid clear has done Karmine Corp in. As FC Multiculti still had players around and still managed to bring something in. This almost dropped straight into the net. Heck, that was scary for him and his team. Now the whole play goes the other way around. Nope, maybe still with a counterattacking opportunity, as there's Heck, there's Peaky. Nobody can get it on the flank. What can Itachi do? A Moroccan that has been, his appearance in RLCS has been long awaited, and since that time has happened, a lot of time has already passed. And just like with Astral, his appearance in the league has been flashy, and then really nothing much has happened. Astral himself has appeared on Dignitas as the savior, as the new Phenom, and that age has passed as well. So I wonder where these players are going to be placed in the upcoming RLCS season and split, knowing that Karmine Corp so far have automatically qualified for a spring split, at the very least the first region.
Yeah, undoubtedly one of I mean, almost certainly Africa's greatest player in Rocket League esports is Itachi, hailing, of course, from Morocco, before heading the way of Europe to be able to compete in EU as a region. Of course, it's lovely to see all of these different regions now getting their own taste of RLCS, and I'm sure we're going to see more from them as the scene continues to develop. Heading into the last 25 seconds, I should say, a moment where I've got to, unfortunately, call out you, Cham, where people are now convinced that it's Dacia or Dacia. Please, they're Romanian. And that's a great goal. I mean, I'd say it's a great goal. It's another boomer from downtown, and the Multiculti roster is just completely caught out. Peaky has to make that challenge. But then again, he's so high up in the field that he's gambling with fire. I think Karmine Corp is looking to scrape this one, Jam, just like I'm trying to scrape together my pronunciations.
You got them right, man. You got them right. Karmine Corp, there is only one last drop of the ball somewhere to the ground. Peaky is looking for a hack straight on target. But that is the car of, I believe that was Astral blocking the way, but Astral and Lily both rocking those Karmine Corp decals on Fenix. A lovely little color coordination among Karmine Corp players. 2-1. You could see that FC Multiculti putting on 8 shots on target and looking threatening throughout the game. Don't count them out. Don't count them out. This team has the opportunity to put on upsets, and I feel like that's always been a case with Dutch teams. Something about them is always like, okay, well, what can they do? Are they that big? And they just jump out of nowhere and stab you in the heart. I feel like that's what happened yesterday with Sa, although Mike Boy and Oli, those are names that everyone in the scene should know at the highest of the levels. And right here, it seems like Eustace and company are also trying to pull a sneaky one on us as well. First game goes to their opponents, but I wouldn't be surprised if FC Multiculti can take 1, 2, who knows, maybe in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was just Karmine Corp defense shoring up a bit, and it was a great conversation actually whilst we were waiting this series. And again, lovely shout out to Craftman who really brought forward the point of Astral not being too happy to be the facilitator, the anchor player, you know, whatever you want to call them. He is someone who likes to go forward, and as I was mentioning earlier, he wants to be at the front. He wants to be the hero. Itachi and Noli, however, they are what is working in front of net right now. You just got to stomach your ego, deal with what is working well, and working well they are indeed. Another opening lead for Karmine, completely decimating the defense. And Astral, look, whether this is to be a permanent new role for him, facilitating, or whether this is to be a short-term solution. Either way, the most important thing for Karmine right now is to get that upper bracket berth at the very least, to give themselves the best opportunity to get themselves an automatic through to the upper finals of, I believe it's Sunday that we're going to be running those. Astral, given a chance to move up, almost gets a goal, almost gets the second, but no cigar on this occasion.
Astral, maybe a chance for him. He drops back. I would like to go just quickly back to that goal. And I would like to argue that if Karmine Corp and they win the whole tournament, that's once again 15,000 euros just for the winner. Nobody else, plus a month trial of the new Dacia Spring. Is that going in? That's not going either. So I'll continue. If Noli wins that prize, those 5,000 that goes to him, if he goes to a 3-star Michelin restaurant, he won't get a better serve than what Itachi did to him previously. All the while, Astral is getting a couple of snacks by himself. And this, who's that man again? It's Itachi. He's serving those passes left, right, anywhere he pleases.
And that, especially given Astral's the one that puts it away, that is, I believe, the budding bloom of what this Karmine Corp roster can be. Should Astral play into the team game? Should Astral play? That's going in, isn't it? Yep, never mind.
No, do continue. That is a good point. There's still, what we're seeing from Karmine Corp is a style that can definitely work. I'm just worried that team is higher up on the rung will just not allow Itachi to do something like that, to just go in there in the offense willy-nilly, get those dribbles in. It's all very on the dime, the kind of playstyle they've just shown twice now. Right now versus FC Multiculti, no doubt it works.
So, oh, never mind. That's... Oh, no, it's not going in. No, it's not going in. Astral near post, and no, it's not going in. Oh, no! Oh, it's a phrase that has been uttered many a time in the Rocket League Championship Series. But, folks, you hate to see it.
Oh, heck. Oh, heck. Heck.
Oh, heck, indeed.
That's the only thing on his mind right now. Multiculti, bounces off posts are horrible. You never know how to read them, and when you are on the receiving end of them, just like FC Multiculti, where it's tough to do anything. Your whole defense gets thrown for a loop. Your whole rotation gets thrown for a loop. You don't know where to stand one false move, and you are in the way of the ball, and your teammates are in a horrible spot. Karmine Corp does not care which way they're getting the goals. It still puts +1 right next to their name. So they're going to be looking for more, looking solid in this game number 2. And Astral, if he can finish that one, Itachi too close. Noli comes in on through as well. Itachi still stays in the attack, and that gets them the 4th goal. Look at the beauty. You think, Itachi, what are you doing there? Rotate out. Get out of there. Get out of there. But he's in a perfect position to receive this pass.
Sumptuous. He wasn't going home without a goal. And this is... I am going to continue that point from previous now because I think it's worth reiterating. If they can get Astral involved from a facilitator role and give him the confidence to move forward, and that he's going to get the service, Noli with a pinch off the ground, Justice with a Savior medal, not going to do him much good if they're still 3 goals down, then all of a sudden that offensive output that Karmine Corp is potentially able to bring to the table in a series is a scary thought. That is a regional threatening thought, and I know that we've said that before when we were expecting Karmine Corp to already do the business early doors, but this is just salvo after salvo, recycling of rotation. Multiculti cannot handle the corporation.
Multiculti are done, and maybe even dusted for this game number 2, and Karmine Corp are known to be putting on the fire. Castor went back to their series versus Mustaflok. That series started with a 6-3 by KC, then a 7-0 whooping in game number 3. Yes, Mustaflok fought along the way. They brought that series to game number 5. But when the train that Karmine Corp are running was going, and Noli, what? I think he doesn't care anymore. He knows that the score is pretty much out of the reach, and he tried to go for the flashiest, the silliest shot.
Is it though?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, Relic. I'm not going to say that he has just flubbed it big time.
3 goals in 91 seconds. I've seen crazier things happen, Jamie. We've both seen crazier things happen than that. I think that was... I am actually going to... I think I'm doing him a service by saying that was absolutely a flubbing rather than complacency coming out. And Karmine Corp can't switch off for a moment, can they? FC Multiculti still with plenty to give, but that said, they've completely turned off. That's straight into the back of the net, and that is threat done and dusted here in game number 2.
You see their positioning. It's just no time. Oh, and a little bit of a kiss in the midfield.
It's
Valentine's very romantic.
2 months ago.
A beautiful smooch. A beautiful smooch. Just FC Multiculti. It's lovely, but just not helping Astral. Astral just takes a little bit too much time, and Peaky goes, no, what are you doing here? Get out, get out. And he gets out. But Karmine Corp, by putting that 6th on the board, is definitely out of reach. Definitely their play might become just a little bit more comical, but they do not care. With less than a minute remaining, the 4-goal lead should see them safely through. It's now just a question. Where does FC Multiculti chances come in on through? There have been a lot of counterattacks that Karmine Corp have been putting, and if these are nullified, if these are crossed out of the play, feels like FC Multiculti can bring this goal differential way down. Ooh, and this lovely little touch by Heck is exactly what they need. You could see as he brings it up in the air, he still has the control of it, and Peaky's little handoff is just enough. But right here, bam, Noli already way past that ball. He cannot go back. That's exactly where Heck puts it.
His name sounds a little bit like a hiccup, and there was certainly a hiccup in defense there for Karmine Corp, which, of course, again, FC Multiculti aren't going to complain about that, but it just feels a little bit late in the day to be worrying about that. Itachi forced into a save, that straight to Noli. You definitely feel like you felt the moment where Karmine Corp clicked here with this new roster. That's going all the way to the backboard. Justice ensures it. That's through the corner. And Itachi and Nolly just staying safe. Astral with a demo. That's a lovely Cooksy pinch from Itachi again. Puts it straight into the orange half. That's Heck. That's Justice. That's the backboard. And that's Nolly again, just doing his defensive duties lovely. And Karmine Corp, well, they've won more games against FC Multiculti in this revenge tour than they did in their initial encounter, just one away from the sweep.
And the mental games from Astral. If you've noticed, he spent the last 20 seconds squarely in FC Multiculti's side of the field, going for demos. They literally served no purpose other than, psychological warfare. I have no other way to describe it. And here we go with those Itachi passes. My God, he had a silver platter. He just went in full on serving suit and gave them to his opposition. This one, something that Multiculti would like to forget, but thankfully the next game starts at 0-0 and the embarrassment might be saved. That romantic moment though in the center of the field, I would love to put a little heart on it, a little kissing cam, just to perhaps put a salt in the wounds. No salt in the wounds. FC Multiculti facing off versus Karmine Corp. Match point for the French organization. Let's see how they can deal with it.
It's been a day of getting warm, basically, and not just because we are in spring and looking towards summer now, but two rosters who made changes, who didn't look great, and yet the results have started to pick up for Semper. Never really exploded, but once again, going home with no losses today. That is extremely impressive. And Karmine Corp, well, the potential is there. I think everyone saw it on paper. We were finally seeing it really just culminate on the field, although this is a bit of an overcommitment. Another great demo from Astral, who goes up, and is he going to get the block? No, it's going to end up with Itachi, but Astral definitely gets the block on that one. FC Multiculti denied the opener. In steps Justice. No, Nolly gets there first. Itachi with a bit of an errant touch, and Nolly's going to pick it up here. Nolly with not much boost to use, actually. Bumped out the way by Heck, but it still worked out! Nolly and Itachi, is this the dawn of a beautiful partnership?
It sure looks like that way, and Peaky just a little bit too late. Tries to adjust himself first for the play on the wall, then a play on the field. Just really figuring out where he can slot himself. All the while, that drop comes in, and Itachi was perfectly ready for it. It's lovely to see when the new players are on the roster are just gearing up and gelling up so well. And these are the kind of passes that you expect from a team that has been playing together for a really long time. And yet here they are, and if they manage to hit this chemistry between two players, like-minded style of play, is gonna put them in a good position. One back from FC Multiculti as Heck, together with Peaky, master up with a couple of maneuvers here, there, and everywhere. Noli just a bit late on challenge.
Yeah, and just very isolated as well. Astral really had to do a bit more from that initial challenge, but it was a really nice readjustment actually from Heck. It was more he went from looking to challenge the ball to just getting Astral out of the play, because then it set up the 2v1 scenario, of course. Still not the end of the world for Karmine Corp, and actually that's a really nice pass, which Nolly's not going to get to in time. It's up against the backboard, and Itachi does get that one on target. And once again, it's Heck in the way. Went a little quiet, certainly, in the last series in which we saw him. Of course, that up against Semper Esports, but looking to be back on it now was Astral. He's going to dribble past one. What can he do from here? He's going to meet up to Heck, and again, Itachi forces his way through. That sets up Nolly. Nice save from Justice. Astral force back, picks up that 100. Again, past one once more. That's in field, and he's not going to get a piece of this. Itachi and Peaky now looking to do something nice, looking to do something superb, but again, it's sort of forced back out to the walls and into a great counter-attack for Karmine, which is going to be cleaned up, but FC Multiculti know that they are playing dangerously here, especially when they have to risk so much just to get into a decent scoring position.
They got in a lucky position once Karmine Corp forced to retreat back. All of them were on 0 boost. By the time Noli has picked up 100 canister, he was already in his own side of the field, so the attack for Karmine broke down this counter-attack with 2. Had its own threat. Now Noli steals the opposition's boost. There's some players from FC Multiculti on the wall to continue the attack, but just one touch from Astral, and this puts in such an awkward position from FC Multiculti to continue. And I would argue that aerial-wise...
Uh-oh!
Is that just going in?
Whoa,
Justice?
no!
Justice? Justice, you were right there. Justice, buddy, is everything all right? I'm just watching Peaky. Yep, late for a challenge. Where Justice? Oh, he's just not making there. The replay make it look like he was so much closer and just standing right underneath the ball. But he was also chasing it. What an unfortunate circumstance for FC Multiculti. But Karmine Corp have scored quite a bunch of these already. So FC Multiculti might have to think about, why is this happening over and over again?
Is it going to happen
Relic,
again?
why is it happening over and over again?
I mean, Nolly is the one who's been bringing his scope to the party. He's got 3 of them already. Itachi getting in on the fun, and that is just not a great... I mean, it's not a great pass in field, to be fair. And FC Multiculti have 2 goals to find. Otherwise, they will find themselves in the lower bracket. Again, I think given the quality of the teams that we've seen thus far, it's not actually that much of a bad thing, because the 4 teams that we are expecting to see now, if we include Karmine Corp in that upper bracket, you know, they are all incredibly, I would argue, favorites in their own rights to go on and win the Dacia Spring Electric tournament. For my money, again, so probably just edging it in terms of what we've seen thus far. However, this Karmine Corp performance is starting to change my mind, Jam. This is starting to become some of the best passing play Rocket League, some of the best defensively solid Rocket League, just some of the best plain out Rocket League that we have seen in the tournament. There's over a minute left, barely. FC Multiculti are just stuck in their own half.
It's definitely not helping. Heck will be way out of position. Now Hestus and Noli, and a follow-up from Peaky might be there, but Heck by this point already rotates back. And this is why a second shot from Multiculti does not go in. There's just no follow, thankfully. There's still something from Justus back on the board, but you could see that they went in the attack way too early. Nobody from Multiculti really have any boost in their tanks, and I'm just worried that the Karmine Corp, yet another clear, will come in, and Multiculti will not be able to go on back. They get something back in return resource-wise. Now they're just pushed back, and Itachi, he reads them well. That's a hat-trick for the Moroccan. That is a hat-trick and assist for Noli. And a 4-1 for Karmine Corp, who in the dying moments of this game are trying to put it to bed, and might say pretty successfully.
Where was this team at the start of the day? That's really the only question I've got left, because even Astral, after his struggles that we've seen, looks like part of the furniture. And as soon as I say that, of course, there's a double commit, but it's not a double commit that's punished. And Astral certainly looks a lot happier, as I'm sure any player would be, not just on the precipice of a sweep, but finishing your final game with aplomb. There's going to be one final save from Itachi, coming in, putting on the cape, ensuring that only one goal will go the way of FC Multiculti, where Content de te revoir, Karmine Corp, welcome back. That is just dominant up against a team that seemed to just be inside their heads, Jam, for the last series that we saw them together.
I really wonder what gave them that freedom. Perhaps those were the lessons that Karmine learned earlier in the day as they were playing versus FC Multiculti in the upper semifinals of their group. That series went on to be 3-2 in favor of Multiculti, and look at what a turnaround it is. Another sweep that we have seen, and Spokes and Crafters were absolutely right. It's going to be Game 5 series for them. It's going to be sweeps for us. We're not complaining. It has been a tremendous day of Rocket League. And FC Multiculti and Karmine Corp are both moving to the playoffs to join Semper Esports from Group B, as well as Team Vitality and Rumble Bumblers. Fortunately, earlier we had to say goodbye to Multiculti. But this series proves that the chemistry can be quite quickly made, and if we ever get a chance to figure out exactly where Karmine Corp have found their inspiration after their earlier loss, I would love to hear it, because they have performed tremendously. So here's Group B. As I've already mentioned, we've seen Semper Esports, and Semper Esports had a tremendous day, 3-0ing their opposition. First Multiculti, then FC Multiculti. Each one of these series was close, but a 3-0 is a 3-0, and they are the only undefeated team across both groups that are going into the playoffs. Karmine Corp and FC Multiculti, well, they've played 2 5-game series, and FC Multiculti came in on top. But later on today, they had to play their opposition again, and we just saw exactly how that ended. And in our relegation match of the day, Relic, Multiculti, unfortunately, were the team going out and not making it to Championship Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, they're going to join Team Singularity, of course, is gone goodbye before the weekend arrives. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. And here is your playoff bracket to enjoy. Suh going up against Karmine Corp, Semper Esports going up against Team Vitality. So the three rosters, the three orgs that have made changes that we're excited to see all in those upper semifinals, along with Suh, a brand new pickup leftovers roster, all Dutchmen, all looking very good indeed. Of course, the Rumble Bumblers and FC Multiculti awaiting the losers of those respected semifinals in the lower bracket. The winners of those lower brackets then go on to face each other in a lower semifinal before we have the finals themselves, the upper finals between the winners of the upper semifinals. The rest of the bracket should play out as you would expect. And of course, that grand finale with the potential bracket reset. Very exciting to see how it all turns out. To answer your question as a final thought on this day, I think, Jam, it goes to show that a new player can go one of many ways. You can have a player that slots in seamlessly. You can have a player that perhaps doesn't go the way that you were expecting, more of a negative impact than a positive. And you have players that maybe take a little bit of time to adjust but breathe new life into a roster. And I think on the basis of today, Nolly really is that player who almost said, come on, guys, we're better than this. And boy, did they do better than what they did previously.
Well, all that and more starting tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central European Time right here on the Rocket RB, as well as Rocket Baguette, if you want to see this broadcast in French, but from myself, Relic, Craftman, and Spooks, as well as Production Cheesecake. Big thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, I think I have a letter to write to Dacia. Maybe their next car should be a Dacia Octane. You know, that actually has a bit of a ring to it. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow.